So, hi, welcome back to the Noise Podcast. My name is Glory, and today I'm here with.
Ryan Woods.
And today we're going to be chatting about his newest album, Godboy. So, congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
Thank you. Yeah, I feel great. It's relieving. I've been sitting on this music for a really long time,
Mm-hmm.
teasing it for years. Yeah, it feels great to like have it out and available for consumption.
Yeah, hell
But
yeah.
yeah, the response has been great.
Awesome. Well, obviously, before the interview, I listened to the record. I want to say this shit is so catchy. It's just a vibe. I'm fucking with it heavy. I love it. Mhm.
Thank you. Do
Of
you have
course.
a favorite track so far?
I think it was Gun in the Glove Box. I fucked with
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that one.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. I also liked Good Swim as well. And then I think it was one of your newer singles was Debbie. I liked that one
Yeah.
as well. Yeah. So the again, it was just kind of like hit after hit after hit. I was like, yeah, this shit's a vibe. I was very happy with it.
Thank you.
Of
Yeah.
course.
We shoot for bangers only. So
Exactly. And achieved. So I'm curious,
yeah.
you said you've been sitting on this for a while. You're just happy it's finally out. So how long when did the process for the album start? And then when did you have everything mixed, mastered, ready to turn in?
Um yeah, so I think some of these songs are like pre-COVID even.
God
Like
damn. Yeah.
yeah, some of the like I think Consideration is
Mm-hmm.
probably like the oldest song
Mm-hmm.
on this record. I think I originally started writing that uh in consideration for my first project,
Yeah.
pun intended.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
come on. Jesus.
come on.
You had to. That's
But
fair. Yeah.
yeah, so that was like so kind of the way this project came together was I moved out to Los Angeles
Mm-hmm.
like right before I started putting out my first project, King of the Basement, and then um was, really focused on that, and then boom, COVID hit, and I was
Yeah.
like, what now?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Eesh.
I have this project I'm like rolling out.
Mm-hmm.
I have, that's all done, ready to go. I can't leave my apartment really, so let's just write.
Yeah.
So I just started writing as many songs as I could. I think they're not all like full songs, but uh, I have like in around like 500 like ideas
Yeah.
slash
Like
songs
demo type. Yeah.
sitting on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of once it was time to start putting this project together, I sort of was just like, okay, I know like I can write a good song no matter what. Like if I decide to write something, it's gonna be decent at
Yeah.
least. Let's say every 10 songs I write is like a great song
Mm-hmm.
on, above the line of good.
Yeah.
Um, so I kind of just started combing through all my ideas and was like, you know, being very analytical about
Mm-hmm.
the potential of them. And then also, I had already kind of picked out God Boy as like a title track.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I wanted to make sure that all the songs were um, sort of fitting under that umbrella,
Yeah.
I guess. So those were kind of the two criteria. Like what songs are like, exceed the line of like just like a decent song, and
Mm-hmm.
what's a great song. So kind
Okay.
of went through, picked out my favorites, I guess. And
Yeah.
um also I love like the 10 song album format. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
Just as like a pop writer, like I'm a huge Bruno Mars fan.
Damn
So
straight. Mm-hmm.
all his records are exactly 10 songs, no more, no less.
Yep.
It's like I think it's like a good way to make sure you're like trimming fat off a
Mm-hmm.
project, and it's, it's not skippable, I guess. But
Exactly. Yeah. Doesn't overstay its
um
welcome. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So this has just kind of been like a slow, like baby step process all throughout like COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And um once we were finally out of that, and I was like I had sort of like rebuilt my whole team. signed with Fearless Records, and started. Um, I kind of made a little like PowerPoint vision board for
Yeah.
them to like kind of let them know how I want to like put this project together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it all like kind of slowly but really naturally came together in like a couple years. And um, yeah, I was just, I don't know, I felt like I don't know, it's a weird way to describe it, but I felt like a pregnant woman that was like
Mm-hmm.
way overdue. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
like I
yeah.
was
Just
like, get
uncomfortable.
this,
Yeah.
yeah, just get this baby out of me, please. Like
Yeah.
I'm so done being pregnant,
Yeah, hell yeah.
and I want to have more children.
I
You
was
know,
gonna
so
say, and on to the
like
next one
let's,
immediately
yeah.
afterwards. Yeah.
So yeah, I have a lot of weird metaphors and philosophies. I'll probably say more of them.
I
My
can't
team
wait.
calls them Ryanisms.
Ryan
So
isn't. Oh, it's coined.
yeah,
Oh, I love
yeah.
it. Hell yeah.
We'll be dropping some wisdom maybe.
Oh yeah, drop a book maybe. A little book
Yeah,
full of them. Mm,
that'd be cool.
that'd be
There's an
dope.
idea.
There you go. Write it down. Hell yeah.
So yeah, I hope that roughly answered your
It
question.
absolutely did. So it seems like it was like a 5 year long process of waiting,
Yeah,
trimming, and then finally building everything together.
yeah.
Hmm. God damn. So I assume you're ready for the next thing already. You've been sitting with this for so long that you're just kind of ready to jump to the next thing, or are you kind of able to sit back and reflect and finally appreciate and enjoy everything?
It's kind of been back and forth, honestly. Like I have immediately like I feel like this project was sort of like a dam
Mm-hmm.
in my like creative flow,
Yeah.
and I can finally like let some water out and start like creating again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like because it started to get to me because I love being creative as
Mm-hmm.
much as possible.
Yeah.
Um, but when I would like, it got to the point where I would start sitting down to like write something new or like explore something, and I'd be like, this isn't gonna come out for like three,
Mm.
4 years, you know?
Yeah.
And my experience with this project, even though I'm like extremely happy and proud of it,
Mm-hmm.
there's like 5 years of like mental growth I've undergone
Yeah.
since I started putting it together. So I'm kind of like, you know, I think any artist would relate to this
Mm-hmm.
too. It's just like you listen to like an old song of yours and you're like, oh, if I could have like
Mm.
redone that vocal like one more time or
Yeah.
like use different drums or something. But
Mm-hmm.
that's when I know I'm like ready to start, you know, making a new project that's a little better,
Mm-hmm.
a little more mature or whatever. Um,
Exactly.
so yeah, it was it like now that it's out officially, I've started to like scheme a little bit for what I
Hell
want
yeah.
for my next project,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also like trying to just enjoy like having fresh batch of music out.
Exactly. Enjoy the all the feedback and everything, and then move on to the next thing. Then get excited about that. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. So, is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I start? So Godboy is sort of it's like a pretty abstract concept that
Mm-hmm.
has like several like intertwining meanings, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But um I was raised religiously. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
and Orlando, Florida. So was raised in the South, the
Yeah.
Bible Belt
Oh
kind
yeah.
of thing. And before I say anything else, this
Mm-hmm.
isn't like about religion,
Mm-hmm.
really. It's more about like my own journey of like just pursuing the meaning of life, I guess,
Yeah.
you
Hell
know,
yeah.
and adolescence going through existential like crises and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But yeah, I was raised like um, sort of the way I took the way was raised, I guess, and the way it impacted me. It gave me a very like strict conscience
Mm-hmm.
that like as I grew older and life got more complicated and more real,
Mm-hmm.
um, as I like started living my own life,
Mhm.
uh, caused me a lot of anxiety.
Yes.
So Godboy is sort of like the identity of like that part of my brain, I guess, like
Mhm.
my conscience, this like idyllic self. And it's a part of my brain that's like constantly like in between the right and the wrong thing, and like
Mhm.
what's, where, which path do I take,
Yeah.
what's, what's good and what's bad, what am I basing my morality on, I
Mhm.
guess. So the song God Boy is sort of like an internal dialogue of like that sort of existential like struggle,
Mhm.
where I like am questioning God and like the
Hmm.
meaning of God, if there's a God, and I'm like
Hmm.
realizing that I do still like, I'm sort of agnostic,
Mhm.
spiritual now, I
Okay.
guess,
Yeah.
but me realizing that like uh the like construct of like God that I grew up with
Mhm.
started to turn into like my own ego,
Hmm.
and it was like really dictating like how I felt constantly and caused a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of me like becoming aware of this
Mhm.
and releasing myself of it as well, and being like, you're not God.
Yeah.
Like, you
Chill.
don't have to like bear all this weight. You
Mhm.
don't have to, like the chorus goes like, what a time to be alive. Life's a game and love's a toy. You turn 18 and make your choice. And
Mhm.
that's sort of like speaking to like growing up and like having to make these big like lifetime decisions for the first time. And
Mhm.
I would put so much pressure on those to
Yeah.
be like, oh, I want to, I don't know. I was like sort of chasing this like um sense of like perfection,
Yeah.
and like what it really was me just wanting to like fulfill my potential. If I was put here on earth, what
Mhm.
for?
Yeah.
What is my purpose here?
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's so if you look at like the cover art,
Mhm.
there's like a little devil and an angel sitting on my shoulder, and
Mhm.
that's like kind of like I've always been really tied to the like concept of balance.
Yeah.
And um like I've been getting into like Taoism a lot too,
Mhm.
which sort of means like the middle way.
Yeah.
Um, which I think, I don't know, I feel like if there's like an emotional spectrum, it's like good and bad, and then
Mhm.
everything in between. And there's like extremes on both sides, and I've
Mhm.
always been like trying to find the middle,
Yeah. The balance.
because
Mm.
yeah, because I think, life's a roller coaster, and I think, you know the bad makes the good good.
Mhm.
And I think
Exactly.
that's sort of my philosophy, I guess. So as I started to realize that and like find deeper meaning of in that, I
Mhm.
realized like, I don't know, sorry, I'm rambling a lot here,
No,
but
that's what the
there's a
podcast is
lot of
for.
thoughts
I'm
on
listening.
this.
Yeah.
But I say that about to go into another ramble. I think like um like the I think it's like a human condition to want to grow, multiply,
Mhm.
like, and I think that's good in some ways, but there's this like thing that happens if you overdo it, where things get too complicated and
Mhm.
suddenly it's like life is hard to handle. It's like, um, you see this with like, I think the only place this really like is a strength
Mhm.
is scientifically,
Mhm.
as we
Yeah.
like discover new things and technologies and stuff. But even with that, it's like social media is an example of like this explosion in like connection in the world,
Mhm.
and it brought about so much like chaos and like
Mhm.
so many new ideas that people would never have been exposed to
Yeah.
without like the internet, so I kind of like, in sort of like recognizing all this, I was like, I feel like the way to find peace throughout all this is to simplify as much as you can,
Yeah.
and you know uh, break things up into more like digestible pieces,
Absolutely.
and kind of not be so focused on all these little things, but sort of like concentrate my like mindset on
Mm-hmm.
like, fewer things that are healthier for me, that
Mm-hmm.
make me happier, that bring me more peace.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I think it's like a very, I think a lot of people don't realize that until they're like older,
Mm-hmm.
and like realize that like, oh, there's something about like just going on a walk, like
Yeah.
turning
The
off your
simple
phone, and
things.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's sort of been my like, this project is like a journal. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's how most artists would treat their music,
Yeah.
but in a very real sense, this is how I've like documented my like experiences and what I've learned through them. And I
Mm-hmm.
really want to make sure, like, when I write a song, it's like productive
Yeah.
to like consume for people, and it, makes them think about things and
Mm-hmm.
yada yada. So,
Absolutely.
um, yeah, that's sort of that's my ramble
That was perfect. Okay.
on that.
So the story and also just your personal story of you kind of rediscovering yourself and kind of killing that ego and finding your own purpose in life, is that is a running theme throughout the entire record, not just with the title track.
Yeah, pretty much. There's
Mm-hmm.
sort of like a sequence
Mm-hmm.
I laid out. I was like, okay, like this project, you know, there's a lot of songs that appeal to love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I kind of like the idea of, because this is sort of how it happened for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like uh, my like spiritual slash existential journey was sort of marked by like relationships I was in,
Mm-hmm.
and like I think relationships like are so informative
Mm-hmm.
about like the kind of person you decide you want to become.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so like for example, like uh my first project was like about um I don't know, I was raised like religiously. I was very like naive
Mm-hmm.
about a lot of things, and I'd say like a little like not toxically optimistic, but like in a sense of where I was like, uh, I would sort of ignore like my own sadness about
Mm-hmm.
things and be like, I need to be like happy. Like I
Exactly.
have a life, I have like a roof over my head. Like
Mm-hmm.
God's given me so much to be appreciative of.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it that was like the turning point when like real life started happening, and
Yep.
like I
It's
was
awakening.
exposed to
Mm-hmm.
different kinds of pain for the first time. Like, and a big one was like through a relationship that like went terribly south. It
Mm-hmm.
was like my first relationship, and I was like really into the idea of like I date, you know, to marry, and
Yeah.
I really want this to work out.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then, you know, that blows up in your face, and you're like, what the fuck,
Huh?
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
You're like, but I was like, I gave it my all. Like, what
Mm-hmm.
happened?
Mm-hmm.
And then that sort of sent me on this like long journey of like, what is life? Who am I?
Damn. Yeah.
What is love? What is my place in this world if not to like love this person or
Yeah.
something,
Goddamn. Yeah.
So I kind of mapped out the project that way, where
Mm-hmm.
it's like, and this was sort of like the second round of this journey almost,
Mm-hmm.
with like a little bit more maturity, a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more uh like uh just like healthy mindsets attached to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I wrote Garden like shortly after the last project came out, which is called King of the Basement.
Mm-hmm.
and it's like that project is about me like being anxious and depressed for the first time and being
Yeah.
like, how do I get out of this?
Mhm.
And I, my room at my parents' house was in our basement,
Mhm.
and I had like my studio there, my little like video game setup,
Yeah.
and
Hell
like,
yeah.
that was like my territory. Like
Mhm.
I loved like the solitude I had there, but it also became sort of like a mental place for me, is
Yeah.
like sort of a safe place, but also like a prison at the same time.
Mhm.
So Garden is about me like stepping back out into the world and like
Yeah.
overcoming fear and like cultivating like the love that I have
Mhm.
again, just for life. In the song, it sounds like romantic and all, which it is,
Mhm.
but it's like all that and more.
Yeah.
Basically, it's about me like recognizing that like if I want to uh like hold on to like my happiness
Mhm.
and my peace
Mhm.
and the love energy that I have to give to other people and myself, I need to cultivate that.
Mhm.
It's important that you treat it like a garden.
Exactly.
Um, you want your flowers to bloom, you
Mhm.
want your tomatoes to grow
Mhm.
nice and plump, and that requires a lot of input and care.
Mhm.
So um, it's sort of about me realizing that and being like, okay, uh, I need to be healthy mentally, physically, um, so that I'm like prepared to like take on the challenges that
Mhm.
life has for me.
Yeah.
Um, so it's sort of framed as like, oh, I have this crush, I have this little seed that
Mhm.
I need to like plant and grow and make sure we have a good harvest, I guess. So
Yeah.
it's just so it starts off that way where I'm
Mhm.
like, ah, love, whimsy,
Yeah.
beautiful, wow.
Yeah. Sun is
Um,
shining. Mm.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then it's like, as you like a couple songs in, you get into songs like, I actually need to pull up the sequence because I can't remember it off the top of my
It
head.
happens. It happens. No
But
shame.
um, so yeah, you get into like Garden and then Loving You, that's a cover,
Mhm.
but it's sort of just, I feel like that song is like the embodiment
Hmm.
of love. It's like
Yeah.
so pure. Minnie Riperton is like such a beautiful person, and you could like in the original song, she's like, I'm pretty sure she wrote it for her daughter that was
Oh.
like just born, and
Yeah.
it was like
Hmm. Pure.
um obviously me covering it was more of like a romantic
Mhm.
like gesture, but I just love like the purity. It's like only about just like love, not
Yeah.
about anyone in particular. It's
Mhm.
just like the like essence of it.
Mhm.
Um, and then Full Speed Ahead is like sort of about like the fear that sort of sets in when you're
Mhm.
like you like rush into love and
Mhm.
you're like, oh wait, what if this like blows up in my face again? What if
Yeah.
like
Hesitancy. Yeah.
this person isn't the person they think or I think they are?
Mhm.
You know, because um, I'm not sure if you're gonna like ask about any of their songs, but um, just a brief on that one. It's
Mhm.
sort of like just about how when you get into a relationship, the two people like are bringing their burdens with them, and that
Yeah.
their
Baggage.
past
Everything.
with them, and
Mhm.
you never know how that's gonna like play out,
Mhm.
and it's still like it's just about like yeah wanting to be in love, but not wanting to be hurt by love,
Yeah.
um, but also deciding like fuck it, like you know, there's a song on my last project, "There's No Insurance for a Broken Heart,"
Mhm.
that's sort of about just like accepting that there's pain that will come about with you know love
Mhm.
in general,
Yeah.
whether that's like a friend or um, family even, or a romantic partner.
Mm-hmm.
um, you never know how, you know, pain is inevitable but that is sort of what makes love so beautiful, is because it's like the balance thing again.
Mm-hmm.
um, and then gun in the glove box is like when that, you know, the things you're trying to hide
The
from
baggage comes
the other
out.
person,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it starts leaking out a little bit, and you're
Yep.
like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Put that
put the
shit
gun
down.
down,
Yeah.
put the gun
You weren't
down.
supposed to see that
There's
shit.
a, there's
Yeah.
a reason it's for self-defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and then good swim is kind of like out of place in this sequence a little bit, but I
Yeah.
thought it made sense sonically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but uh, that's another, but it's sort of like reflecting upon like my idea of love. It's like this
Mm-hmm.
should feel like a good swim
Yeah.
on a hot day. Like it should feel refreshing. Like, but
Mm-hmm.
and this does not feel like that.
Yeah.
So you get on to the next track. It's Debbie,
Mm-hmm.
and this song is sort of about two things. It's about like a relationship I was in, but also like my relationship with myself,
Mm-hmm.
and like the like how I was holding on to my own burdens,
Yeah.
and like how they would like come back to like haunt me because I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't like really let them go properly. And that's, and Debbie's sort of like the personification of that. And also I'm like seeing this, I'm seeing Debbie in this other person,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like sort of making the choice of like, I do not want this for myself. I do
Yeah.
not want to be around this energy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's sort of me like just like bucking up and being like, I'm a dreamer, she's
Mm-hmm.
a doubter,
Mm-hmm.
which is like the tagline. Um, and this energy has no place in my head
Yeah.
and in the people I surround myself with. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I choose to protect my peace here.
Absolutely.
Um, but it's also sort of a spiral, I guess. And then
Mm-hmm.
that leads you to like too many ways to live, where I'm like, okay, like I have this like clean slate. I've like decided I want like better things for myself,
Mm-hmm.
but like, which now there's like so many paths available to me. There's
Yeah.
like so many ways I can, you know, step forward and you know, move on with my life. But how do I want to do that? How do
Mm-hmm.
I decide, you know, how do I know what I want?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that was like another little like anxious, like, okay, I can do anything I set my mind to, but that's a lot of responsibility. That's how
Exactly.
do I know, you know?
Yeah.
And then it keeps going into like lost and found, which
Mm-hmm.
is sort of just about me like touching base with like my inner child
Mm-hmm.
and being like, yeah, we have dreams. We want to be great.
Mm-hmm.
We have like ambitions to do, but like I'm really confused still on like how that's going to take place. But
Yeah.
um and you get all the way down to like Godboy, and that's sort of me finally being like, I I'm fine. Like however it plays out. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
the way I want to live my life is, you know, yeah, I want to pursue these things that I dream about, and but I also don't want to like force my way through life and end up somewhere I didn't want to be. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's like back to like the concept of balance, like, you know, the balance of like input and output
Mm-hmm.
as far as your own like power goes in
Yeah.
your life, but also allowing life to like meet you in the middle
Mm-hmm.
and being like, you know, in like a spiritual sense, this is me sort of being like, okay, I'm gonna let go and let God, you know.
Yeah.
um,
Hell yeah.
and just be like, yeah, whatever the universe has for me, like I'll accept
Yeah, I'll take
gratefully,
it.
and
Yeah,
you know, I will continue to walk forward regardless.
exactly.
Um, so yeah,
That's perfect.
um,
You stole my question because my next one was gonna be track listing and where everything lays and if there was kind of like a intentional placement of each track. But I mean, it's a storyline, and so all of those tracks weren't written in one single session. That was over the course of around 5 years, and you kind of sifted through and found this storyline in your actual progress in life.
yeah,
God, that's so dope. I love that type of
yeah.
stuff. I love that stuff so much,
Thank you.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know how to like answer the last question without like going all the way into it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's in some of the songs, like I said, like Good Swim and Consideration are sort of just like thrown in there where they like make sense sonically, but they
Yeah.
contribute to the overall like concept, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so
Hmm.
it's yeah, it was definitely like not initially the way I wanted to like
Hmm.
put this project together. Like I'm really obsessed with the like idea of like I don't know, like the traditional like album cycle where you like just get in the studio, write a bunch of shit, and then
Yeah.
like that's the
There you
project.
go.
But like
Done.
so I'm already like cooking on like, you know, future project
Of course.
to like um go into it with a lot more intention. And that's
Hmm.
sort of why um I don't really believe in like writer's block,
Hmm.
but I do believe there's like a timing in like your creativity.
Hmm.
And for me, it didn't feel like while I was putting this project together, it didn't feel like I needed to do anything
Yeah.
at that time. And now that it's out, I'm like, yeah, like I said earlier, like it was like a
Hmm.
dam sort of, and now I can sort of, let the floodgates out and,
Yeah.
you know, let the creativity start flowing again.
Exactly.
So I have a ton more of like ideas that I'm like revisiting and
Hmm.
being like, oh yeah, this is something, but also writing brand
Most
new
definitely.
stuff, which is always fun.
Perfect. Well, I'm very excited to hear what you have next. But for this record, how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends, dark with headphones on? Should they work out to it? What do you personally recommend?
Um, it's a good question. I feel like there's like two or three like ways. I think like it's good to listen to with friends, but maybe more on the top half where it's a little happier and
Yeah.
joyous. But it's sort of like in a weird way, it sort of is like giving the sun setting
Mm-hmm.
while it's still out when golden hours hitting. You're
Oh yeah.
listening to these like love songs, and then as the sun goes down,
Mm-hmm.
it gets deeper and more like uh, just existential and weird and uh, more of these like deep thought provoking uh, ideas in the songs. So maybe go to the beach or something,
Hmm.
or if you have access to a beach
Yeah. Right.
or somewhere scenic,
Mm-hmm.
um, throw it on, and then as the sun goes down, maybe start driving home,
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
and then like
Yeah.
you know
Day ender.
listen to the second half.
Mm-hmm.
But um, so I guess that's one way. Another way is like I don't know. I'm a huge fan of just like whenever a project comes out from like one of my favorite artists,
Mm-hmm.
I love to just like sit and like read the lyrics as
Yes.
I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
kind of have this whole experience with it. Um, it's one of my favorite ways to listen to music and
Me
just
too.
really immerse yourself in like what the artist like wants me to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's another way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I guess the third way is just like, you know, listen to it casually and like see what what song makes your head turn a little bit and be like, "Ooh, what's this one? I
Ooh,
like this one.
gonna add that
This
one
is
to the
going on the
playlist.
playlist."
There you
Yeah,
go. Yeah,
but yeah.
exactly. Hell yeah.
So choose your path.
There you go. Hell yeah. Choose your story. And this one should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yep.
Okay, I need to think about this for a
Take your
second.
time.
I actually have like keywords written in the like vision board I talked about,
Yeah.
just like defining words. Antonymic,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of like polarizing ideas and like finding like the balance in between.
Yeah.
It's another one. Idyllic, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
is another good one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like me acknowledging the like, you know, my like higher self, if you will, and
Yeah.
like also acknowledging where I'm actually at in
Mm-hmm.
like the path to like becoming like one with, a higher version of
Mm-hmm.
myself. I'd say it's like balance, you know. I think
Balance.
those are all kind of synonyms, but
Yeah.
uh I think that's the best way to like sum it up is just, you know, seeking balance in, becoming an adult
Yeah.
and navigating all of, you know, the labyrinth that life presents you and um, you know, figuring out what it means to like maintain that like middle way, that
Mm-hmm.
peace. So um, you can be happy when, there's things to be happy about, and
Yeah.
you can be sad when something sad happens. I think
Exactly.
that's what makes life beautiful
Mm-hmm.
is, you know, being able to appreciate the ups and downs and
Exactly.
yeah, finding balance throughout it. So yeah,
Perfection, the contrast in life. I love it. Yeah.
yeah.
And in
Oh, that's
this,
another good word.
yeah, you want that one too? You want...
Nah, nah, that's we're going over the limit there.
We're pushing it a
I
little
gotta
bit. Yeah.
yeah.
And in the same vein as the last question, but not as much pressure, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this album to evoke in your listeners? And you can use more than one word. This is a go crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think honestly, like when I write, I I think one of my like superpowers is to be able to like zoom out
Mm-hmm.
and look at things from all directions. Um, like the doors to be open to as many people, different kinds of people as possible to like uh relate to like what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when I write a song too, I'm like writing from both ends of it. Like I'm not writing at somebody,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Like, and if I am, it's only because I've been on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I have the credentials to talk about it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's really um, like my intention when I write is to capture as much of the like spectrum of human emotion and experience as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think you can tell when someone's writing on a very like personal level versus like being more considerate of like how many different kinds of people could be listening to
Mm-hmm.
this. And that was like definitely an intention I had throughout this project was like what language can I use that, you know, gives, unlocks, I don't know, I have this like metaphor of like, this project is like a stronghold of like my emotions. And, I think music is sort of a, a way that a lot of people can like not feel alone in feeling certain ways, even
Absolutely. Yeah.
with like a sad song.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that in mind, I want as many people as possible to find like, you know, um, solace, I guess, in, this project. And I want, I think music alleviates a lot of suffering for
Mm-hmm.
people, when you find a song that like puts like a really specific emotion in words that, are very easy to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know. I think the goal was to capture as much of the emotional spectrum as possible, really. There's love, there's confusion, there's, growing up and wanting to like do something great with my life and
Mm-hmm.
find purpose and um, spread love and like, I don't know. It's just a very human account on like the experiences I've had.
Yeah, damn straight. And are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments during the creation of the album, positive or negative?
Yeah, I mean, 5 years, a lot can happen.
I was gonna say, yeah.
There was, I mean, a lot of the holdup on why it took so long, like these songs were more or less ready to
Mm-hmm.
like put in the oven. Oh,
Mm. Nope.
whoops.
I'm just trying not to smile.
I
I'm
was
trying to
just,
let you cook.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Um, Sorry, that like
Threw you
made
off.
me like ADHD.
Yeah.
Uh, Challenges, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it was like sort of the behind the scenes, like business music industry
Yeah.
navigation.
Mm-hmm.
I went through like a change in management,
Mm-hmm.
labels, like the first like year or two um, after my last project came out was spent sort of like trying to reassemble a team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, COVID was a huge factor in that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
my label, I put my first project out under sort of like got uh like really folded up in the like COVID music industry like
Oh.
shifting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like, my I went from having like a pretty big engaged team to like only having like a handful of people like
Yeah.
helping me out. And then the when I got out of my deal with them, I decided to like, there's the road you can go independent or you can like, seek out another deal or what. So um we kind of played both ends of it. Like I put a couple songs out independent and then eventually found my team at Fearless,
Mm-hmm.
and just fell in love with them. They're all like amazing people and really care about what they do.
Good.
And um, they don't fuck around with like
Mm-hmm.
just signing artists. They, are really intentional about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I
They
really
mean it.
appreciated, the way they, fully accepted this like vision I had with this project. Um, so that was like probably like the biggest challenge because also like in the midst of all that, I'm like questioning everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what am I doing out here? Am I get, I obviously knew going into the music industry was like a risk,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like a lot of, you know, there's a lot of like dark corners of the music industry you want to avoid, and there's a lot of people that'll, scratch your back with bad intentions,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, sure everyone knows all the like horror stories about the music industry, so
Yeah.
um, there's a lot of that, and like even just financially, like
Mm-hmm.
trying to survive enough to like be creative was a challenge. Like because like when COVID hit, I was like supposed to start touring like when I was putting out my first project out,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like sort of like I had a certain amount of money saved up before I moved to LA and was like, okay, I'm gonna move to LA. I'm gonna like get my advance from my label.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put my project out. I'm gonna start touring, and it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be smooth from there. You know,
Exactly. Easy. Yeah, you'll
so,
have the whole
yeah,
plan, and that's usually when
yeah.
shit
So
hits the fan. Mm-hmm.
yeah, shit hit the fan hard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was shit everywhere, man.
Everywhere. Took ages to
All
clean
over.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But so yeah, I think that's like that was probably like the biggest like resistance I
Mm-hmm.
faced was just like having a team, having like budget to like do the things I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because kind of like I said earlier, like I have a lot more resources now. If I put this project, if I tore it apart and put it back together today, it would turn out like way differently and
Oh.
in my personal opinion, better probably, but there's also the like side of accepting that it is, you know, you gotta part of being an artist is like not being overly precious and like
Mm-hmm.
learning when to like let go and be
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, it's done. I
Exactly.
refuse to like, you know, I'm gonna put down the pen, I'm gonna,
Mm-hmm.
you know, put down the microphone and
Exactly. Wrap it
bounce it,
up. Yeah.
export this,
Mm-hmm.
and it's this is the way it's gonna be.
Exactly.
So,
It is what it is. Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, those are some of the like more negative challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on a positive note, I guess, like in tail of another negative was like staying connected to this music for so long
Mm-hmm.
and like being like just excited about it and
Yeah.
wanting to put it out. Like even like earlier this year, I like things were just like taking so long and I was like under a lot of just like mental pressure to
Mm-hmm.
like just do something. And I like talked to my label. I was like, hey, is this like I feel really disconnected to this music. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how good of a job I'm gonna do about putting it out and promoting it. Like I'm not excited.
Yeah.
And then like not even like a month later, I started almost like re-experiencing
Oh wow. Mm-hmm.
um a lot of the things on the project, and it like reconnected me to this music and like I was in a relationship that like was like almost like almost made me relate harder to the songs. I was
Mm-hmm.
like Gun in the Glove Box especially was it's sort of how like my last relationship ended.
Mm-hmm.
Um where it was like right when I was like putting that song out too. So it was
Oof.
kind of ironic. It
Yeah.
was like putting that song out and also going through it
Mm-hmm.
on the second round. And I was like, wow, like
Timing's
I
crazy.
really yeah, I cooked with that. Like this is kind of hitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks, younger Ryan.
Exact crushed it.
Um, yeah. So, but that did like reinvigorate me to
Mm-hmm.
like double down, being like, no, I'm like I've put way too much into this project
Mm-hmm.
to like, you know, just dispose of it now. Like it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I have to like trust the past versions of myself that
Mm-hmm.
felt good about this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like yeah, really all like as hard as it was to be like patient throughout the process, when I look back, everything happened like exactly when it was supposed to. And
Mm-hmm.
like in the moment, like I wanted things to change really bad. I look back and I'm like, if that had changed, like I wouldn't have realized this or been here now or felt this way. And
Mm-hmm.
that's precious to me. So um like yeah, especially like as the project like came out, like the
Mm-hmm.
day it came out, I just felt like so light and like yeah, like this was exactly when this was supposed to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't, then like I don't know, I have sort of this quote like that brings me a lot of peace. Um and still working on the verbiage of it, but
Mm-hmm.
in it's more or less just like, you know, if you weren't supposed to be in the place that you are, you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the only way to move forward from there is just accept your circumstances, accept the way your life is, appreciate it,
Mm-hmm.
be grateful that you even have things you do. And, like it's insane to me to this day, like that I am signed to a record label. You know, I've like toured a couple times. Uh, I have a lot more going for me than, a lot of other artists or bands out there too.
Mm-hmm.
I have a team that really cares about me.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah, all to say, the the bad makes the good good,
Absolutely. Everything
if
happens
not
for a
great.
reason. There you go. Damn
Exactly.
straight. Hell yeah. And for this last question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
Ooh,
Oh yeah.
oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually, I actually debated this the last time I was on tour with like
Mm-hmm.
my bandmates, and like it depends on the time of day
Okay.
and like where I'm at too. Like if it's like a post show thing,
Mm-hmm.
I love like junk food,
Mm-hmm.
like some Takis, some Sour Patch Kids.
Mm-hmm.
Love Swedish Fish.
Hell yeah.
Um, I love like gummy candies
Yeah.
of any sorts, and, like sour stuff. But if it's like the morning, I love a coffee and like a pastry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, maybe I'm more of like a morning chocolate guy too.
Oh,
Love
okay.
little chocolate in the morning.
Yeah, why not? A little treat.
Um, yeah. And then if it's like midday and like we just have like if I'm like starving but we don't have that much time to like stop,
Mm-hmm.
I'll get one at like I love a gas station hot dog.
Damn. Mm.
Unfortunately, they're so good when
Damn.
when you do have one,
All right.
when you
Yeah.
need one.
Mm-hmm.
The little rollers,
Mm-hmm.
like
I fuck
I
with
don't
the
know.
Takis, you know?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
not the sorry, taquitos. I fuck with those. You know, the little
Oh yeah,
roll
the
ups.
taquitos.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I fuck with those. Yeah.
No, the 7-Eleven has like the jalapeno like cheese ones.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So good.
Yes.
They also have
Mm-hmm.
like a buffalo chicken one. It's gas too.
I don't think I've
Um,
had the pleasure of seeing that one. I don't think I've seen that one. I need to try that though. I love
it's
buffalo
really
chicken.
good.
Yeah, buffalo
Yeah,
chicken.
but yeah. Uh, anything off the gas station hot bar
Mm-hmm.
during like the lunch hours is great.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
So yeah, that's my rounded answer.
It's perfect. All right. And as I said, that's all the questions I have for you today. Is there anything you would like to plug?
um, the album Godboy, it's out now. Right now we're just kind of focused on promoting it and like playing the like short form content game.
Yeah.
So putting out a lot of content, been shooting a lot of really cool stuff with my friend Zay. Um, and that's been fun too, sort of like refining the process of
Mm-hmm.
like the new age of like short form content and kind of like playing around with that and because there's the like artist urge to like be different and do
Mm-hmm.
something sort of original, but you also have to make it work on social media and it can't be like I don't know. So doing a lot of that, keep an eye out for that. um we just started, I had a show a few months ago that we got a bunch of footage from, so we started
Mm-hmm.
rolling out some like live videos from
Mm-hmm.
that. Unfortunately, they didn't let us record the audio, so they're just kind of
Oh.
overdubbed with like the
Yeah.
songs.
The classic
But
video. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
Mm-hmm.
you can more or less like catch a vibe of like what a Ryan Woods show looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Really fun, a lot of dad jokes. Um, hopefully, there'll be. We're trying to like plan more shows right now too, so just I don't know, just keep an eye out on my socials at it's Ryan Woods on pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and just keep streaming the music. And uh, yeah, you know, you're sort of on the ground floor right now. Like I've always said, I don't want to blow up. I want to bloom. You know, I want
Oh,
to,
yeah.
you know.
Flourish.
So
Mm-hmm.
um, I think we're growing, we're
Mm-hmm.
living, we're learning, we're
Mm-hmm.
laughing and loving.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, through my music, you can kind of tag along on the journey of that. So yeah,
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. This has been Ryan
thank you.
Woods, and I've been Glory from the Good Noise Podcast.